It's a book review time!
And this is one we have been waiting for a very long time. This one is Invasion of the Tearlings by Erika Johansen.
This book was so weird!
You're reading it and you're like, okay, good, this is exactly what I want. Wait, what's going on? Where are we? What? Who are you?
Like, all of a sudden you're in a dystopian society, which is like the near future of our world, which basically turns into a Handmaid's Tale.
It's a pretty good summary. There was this big economic depression where the rich got richer, the poor got really, really poor, the middle class kind of just disappeared.
The rich kind of sequester themselves in little, like, walled cities, and then all these creepy laws are passed, and women can't really do anything.
You know, they're just like the property of their husband. What happens is this one girl, who we're following her perspective, Lily, she's married to an abusive man who really wants to have a baby. She's secretly on birth control, and she's slowly kind of making decisions about her life and how she wants them to go.
The majority of the husbands are abusive, which was interesting. Like, at one point she's out for dinner with a bunch of friends, like, it's couples, and just, there's one relationship at that table that seems, like, sane and normal. And, it's just, and I mean, it's not boring. Like, it's really interesting, and I mean, Erika Johansen can write well. Like, it's not, like, doesn't drag. It's just, it's not what you expected to read in a book called The Invasion of the Tearling when the first book was high fantasy.
So yeah, now you've got this, like, dystopian book in the middle of your high fantasy book, because the dystopian is every, like, second, third chapter, and then you've got high fantasy, and you're like, wait, what? How do these connect? Like, so fine, you meet William Tear. He runs into Lily's life, and they have adventures, whatever, I won't spoil it for you, but you're like, why are you telling me this? How does this connect to Kelsey?
Now, during this, Kelsey is in a bit of a situation because the Mort army is invading, and she has to balance everything, and some people aren't really happy with how she's done this, the fact that she stopped the slave trade, because now it's like, a lot of people are gonna die, and she's struggling with it, and that's what I wanted to read about! That is what I signed up for.
I wanted, like, tactics and how they're cleverly keeping them back, even though maybe they do actually advance into the territory.
And, like, there was some of that. Like, I thought at one point someone just, like, is, like, hiking rattlesnakes. And I'm like, that is so smart, because how many times have you told us in these two books that the Tearlings do not have the same level of technology as the Mort?
Yeah.
Like, you are being attacked by, like, a really, like, powerful society that is, like, years ahead of you.
Yeah. But it's like, they had one clever moment. They're like, ooh, look, rattlesnakes, here you go. And then they're like, well, guess that's all we got.
My favorite part of the story was the Brother Tyler storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Brother Tyler because he's so meek. And just, he's so, like, he's bulldozed so easily, but throughout this novel, he's starting to grow a spine. And I like how, like, even though Christianity is kind of frowned upon by the rest of the society in this book, because when William Tearling started this, he didn't want religion over, because it was like full-on communism. Like, when I was reading that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a communist manifesto, like, we're gonna start a country and everyone will be equal and there will be no religion, and I'm just like, whoa, what have I signed? Like, but so religion is really, really frowned upon, but the book...
But they're also powerful, they own lots of land, and it's kind of like the old medieval Catholic Church.
But with, like, Brother Tyler kind of represents, like, what it should be. Like, there is hope for religion. Not all religion is corrupt, and I liked that. It was cute, and he was cute, and, like, him growing a spine throughout the story, and, like, doing what he does, it's just...
And his relationship with Mason, that was adorable.
And his relationship with Kelsey I really like, too, because they share such a common interest in something, and I like how they can sit in silence and, like, just do their own thing, but, like, be happy that they're together.
I mean, that was really great, and then, of course, the Mace can't read, though they hinted at that in the last book, so it's not like, woo, spoiler. So he goes to Father Tyler and he's like, "You're gonna teach me how to read, and you're going to tell no one."
And Brother Tyler's like, oh my god, he's figured out one of my secrets. That's why he's here. He's gonna kill me. No one's gonna find my body. What, he can't read? Oh, thank God. The Mace is another one of my favorite characters because I love how no nonsense he is, and I like how he and Chelsey are starting to
Gel.
They're gelling more. Like he respects her more. Like they're becoming more equal.
Yeah.
Like he's not having to be like, this is what you should do. I'm being all like, this is my opinion. Whether you take it or not is up to you.
Yeah. So they're really cute.
We'll talk about the jailer because the jailer is also my other favorite subplot. This book had a lot of good subplots. There is a jailer who you're introduced in the first 20 pages, and he's
a simpleton.
He's a simpleton, and he's good at his job. And he inherited the job from his father, and he cleans his cells. He makes sure nothing happens to his prisoners, and he gets to meet the queen, and it's like the best day of his life. But
she's like, "Hey, don't mistreat your prisoners." He's like, "What? I don't know how to mistreat my prisoners."
But there's this really cute scene because he does something that we don't want to spoil, but he does something really, really awesome, and the queen wants to repay him, and she does, and I wanted to cry. It was so cute because she grants his biggest wish,
and it's just they do it in such a great way that he's just gonna be happy for the rest of his life.
Because when they introduced him, I'm like, why are we spending so much time with this guy? I mean,
he's not doing anything. Oh my god, he did something. This is amazing.
Chelsea's relationship with her guard, her close guard. Oh man.
That was adorable.
Oh, there's a lot of good relationships in these books.
Yeah.
That I really appreciate.
She gonna break his heart?
She's probably gonna break his heart.
Oh. So cute. Oh. Damn.
It's really interesting though, because there's no real marriages through the line of the queens. They just sleep with someone and give birth to the next heir to the throne. It's the paternity doesn't matter.
I wonder if there's a reason that they're always queens.
I wonder.
Because you obviously started out with William Tearling, who's a man.
But he didn't want to be king. He wanted his communist empire.
I know, but now it's always been queens. There's always been a Tearling queen. So I wonder if that has to do with something. There is also the demon.
The one thing about this book that just really, really messes with me is this is supposed to be our future. Where did the magic come from? How did you go from a crazy super dystopian technological society of control and then I am magical? That just I don't understand. That's the thing when they in Queen of the Tearling, when they introduced the fact that these books existed and they were brought over from the Crossing, that was the one thing that disjointed in my brain. I couldn't really comprehend that because
I was high fantasy with Harry Potter.
Yeah. And then you add this you focus in this book on the one thing that was my brain was trying to justify, try to find a way to wrap around it.
Doesn't quite make sense still.
No, either it's going to be something that you should just ignore and enjoy the story, or it's going to be some crazy mind-blowing thing in the third book.
Could be. I don't know. The ending was a little weak for me. Chelsey gets the upper hand, and then it feels like she just gives it up. And you're like, well, but just, it's not so far from A to B, just get to B. And she doesn't, so.
I guess the author really wanted a cliffhanger to her final epic novel, the best-selling trilogy, Queen of the Tearling.
Oh well, it's gonna be another year.
Well, I'm glad that it's only a year. I'm glad that we don't have to wait like 7 years, like a certain other fantasy series that has not finished yet.
Let's try a lot of fantasy series. It's just their thing. That is what they do.
So, have you read Invasion of the Tearling? What were your thoughts? What did you like? What did you not like?
How excited are you for the next one?
What are your predictions?
Okay. Bye, guys.
What do you think the book titles are? Because I'm currently like focused on the Rise of the Tearling, or like Revenge of the Tearling, the Tearling Strikes Back,
Rebellion of the Tearling. I don't know.
Tearling Rises, Tearling and the Rings, Song of Tearling and Fire, which technically works when you think about it.